Hey there, dear listener. Before we start the show, I just wanted to give you a little heads up. A few times in this week's episode, the audio gets a little janky in places. This is totally on me. I genuinely forgot to flip a switch somewhere when we started recording and didn't realise until we were a good way through. I hope it doesn't detract from your enjoyment of the episode, because we had a lot of fun on this one, even though, and spoiler alert, I really disliked this movie. Anyway, I hope you're well, I hope you're staying safe, and thank you again for listening. Now, on with the show. On this week's show, there is something in the air tonight, Fernando, and it's the festering stench of this absolute stinker. That's right, we're talking Mamma Mia. Here we go again. I'm Neth Knowles.
I'm Lauren Medeiros.
I'm Rodey Gozum.
And I'm Megan Swaine.
And this is Bad with Numbers.
No, the thing with this movie, it made me think, have any of you ever been super close in real life to breaking into song?
Not super close to breaking into a song, like literally being in a song. And this is kind of fucking weird, right? But when I was at university in my first year, I shared an apartment with like 4 other guys. And we had like a shared kitchen area. Mm-hmm. And one time we all seemed to convene in that kitchen area at exactly the same moment. And we all walked into it singing exactly the same song at exactly the same point, and it was fucking weird, and I don't know why, because it wasn't like on a radio or anything. It just seemed to be that we were all singing Chasing Rainbows by Shed 7, an old Britpop band, at exactly the same moment, and it was fucking freaky.
Seems like a glitch in the Matrix. Shit, wrong movie. No, remember when flash mobs were a thing?
Oh god, yes. Yeah, I remember when flash mobs were a thing.
Did you guys ever see any of those?
There was a period of time when I was like, let's try something new. So yes, I was in a flash mob at Dundas Square.
Wow.
It was like this eclectic mix of all these various alternative songs, like Lee and whatnot. But it went on for like 15 minutes, and like the choreo that you had to learn was like had to learn it in like the span of 2 hours. So it was like a mess. But like in the end it was like fine, because I don't know, it's like one of those memory things when you're young, like what did you do? So like when I'm old, on like in like a bed and like dying, this got dark, but like but I could be like, oh, I remember that one time I danced in when you could do flash mobs in Toronto. You can't do that now.
Laura, me and you nearly did a flash mob once. I don't know if you can like nearly do a flash mob. Do you remember this? The Owen Wilson thing at the bottom of the CN Tower that we were going to go to?
Oh, yes, I do remember that. We were going to go with Alex, weren't we? Because we were just going to, wasn't it like we were just all going to yell wow at the same time?
I think the idea was that everybody was stood at the bottom of the CN Tower, and we were just to stand there and go wow, and just point at the CN Tower going wow, like Owen Wilson.
Man, why didn't we go? That would have been sick.
So wait, did it happen and you guys didn't go?
Oh yeah, no, it happened. We just couldn't be bothered.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
Welcome to Bad with Numbers, a podcast where we talk about mostly terrible sequels. This week on the show, we are talking about Mamma Mia. Mamma Mia! Here we go again, from the year 2018, directed by Ol Parker, who has made a couple of other movies. He made a movie with Dakota Fanning.
Oh, she's great.
What movie?
I forget what it's called. It was kind of like a young adult, like those Fault in the Stars kind of movies about.
I think it's called Now Is Good or something.
Oh, okay.
I didn't see it.
No, me neither.
Anybody see that first Mamma Mia movie?
Mamma Mia!
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, although I don't.
Oh, so I'm the only one that didn't then. Okay.
I don't remember a ton about it. I mean, I probably remember more about it than I do about this movie, which is weird, but I don't remember much about either one.
Didn't you just watch this like at the weekend?
I just finished watching this like a couple of hours ago.
You've already blocked it from
I've already
memory.
forgotten most of it.
Like American Pie for me. Honestly, like I rewatched the first one, I think, a couple days ago. Just to see how it does hold up after watching Mamma Mia 2. It doesn't, because I don't know. First of all, they show the love interests, the three, Sam, Bill, and Harry, with her in like different photos in Mamma Mia 1, and none of them look like their younger selves that they casted. So that was very interesting. You know, it kind of just shows that they had no intentions of a Mamma Mia 2. And then from there, some of the songs kind of crossed over. So what is it? The one that Rodey likes.
I like a lot of songs.
The one with young Harry.
Oh, I like
Waterloo.
I don't necessarily love that song. I just think that's the scene where they spent the most time to actually do choreography. I guess we can get into like what makes a good musical later or now or whenever we feel like it. We'll find out. But I think for me is when there's a lot of the movie, the middle chunk is a lot of them just like looking at each other and singing, where it's not really, there's no kind of, I don't know, purpose to their movements. It's just like, I don't know, sing along with the song, and that counts as a musical, and that's not entertaining. I need like choreography. I need like, I don't know, something that happened with the camera besides just following them around.
Kind of my major complaint about this movie is it's so flat. It is literally just people standing in rooms singing ABBA songs, right?
And occasionally there's a big flash mobby dance sequence, but it just, I don't know, to me it just didn't really feel organic to the movie. It just felt, I don't know, I can't really put my finger on it because I like the music and I like the actors, but
it always freaks me out when like the background actors join in in this like very intimate moment between the two like main characters. It just kind of feels like, what are you guys doing? Are you okay? Like in the first one, it's a lot of the people who are helping in the hotel, they'll join in the song, and I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, go back to gardening.
I didn't see the first Mamma Mia, and here's why, because I fucking hate jukebox musicals. You know the concept of jukebox musicals, of just like taking a musical and just incorporating pre-established songs into it?
Really?
So this and Rocket Man and Moulin Rouge and Glee, they can all walk off right into the sun for all I care. Because if I'm going to pay the money to go and see a musical, y'all have better written some new songs for it, right? And like Moulin Rouge is the worst offender for that, because
I wasn't.
It's not just other people's songs; it's anachronistically using songs from different time periods, right? Like, why are these people in like turn of the 20th century Paris singing fucking Nirvana? It's just like
I guess I could argue that like Moulin Rouge was the first time. It was the year when Moulin Rouge and Crouching Tiger came out. It was the first time that I saw like, oh, it doesn't have to be a certain way. It doesn't have to be kind of the straightforward boringness. And I thought Moulin Rouge and Crouching Tiger totally opposite spectrums. And I was like, this is how cinema can be.
Have you ever seen A Knight's Tale?
Yes.
See, that one is anachronistic, but it doesn't overdo it. It's not a musical per se, but it has musical segments in it. And it's almost cheekily anachronistic in a way that's kind of fun.
Yeah, I remember liking that movie.
Yeah. And I also really like Across the Universe, which is nothing but Beatles songs, but they kind of, in some cases, altered the interpretation of the song in such a way that it actually actively pissed off Beatles fans.
Yeah, and I didn't see that one because, again, it's a jukebox music, and also not like the world's biggest Beatles fan either, so...
Yeah, I'm like biased to musicals. Like Moulin Rouge, I feel like it used to be in my top 10, and then I don't know what happened. I just haven't watched it, and then I watched it again, and it was frenetic, and now I feel like I'm more calmer then. For Across the Universe, like I remember being like when it came out, trying to find a cinema that was playing it, and like all of us going in and watching it. And I do agree that it did things with the songs that were very kind of touching. Like I Want to Hold Your Hand was like, me, like one of the greatest scenes ever.
That's a really good sequence of the movie.
And I think when I compare that movie to this movie, Mamma Mia 2, it has none of like the effort. I get why it's done, because maybe the time it takes a long time to choreograph a scene and like the dance moves and like how you're going to frame the shot for musical, and a musical that matters. So maybe they had a time crunch because it's a sequel, but like you can tell when like a lot of it is just, let's look at each other and like touch walls and spin around this yacht pole and sing to each other. I'm like, that's not exciting.
Something I noticed in Mamma Mia, like the original one, now looking back, is that they really rush Donna's love with all of these guys. Like, even in the first one, where they kind of are talking about why she loves them and why, you know, she has to choose between the three of them, and why she is very upset at Sam very specifically. She talks about how, oh, he was engaged and he left me for her and I can't forgive him ever. and blah, 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 blah. And in this one, in the second one, it's like, nah, you turned him away. He was trying to explain that to you and you weren't having it. So just like those little tiny details in it, as well as there's a prop in Waterloo with the hat that young Harry uses when he's pretending to be Napoleon.
Mm-hmm.
She actually is wearing that hat in the first Mamma Mia. So I wouldn't have noticed that if I hadn't watched the second one first.
The thing with this movie is that essentially it's doing the thing like, oh, this is a story that was talked about in the first one, but now you get to see it play out. And the trouble with those style of movies is like no one really asked for it.
No
one needs to have this backstory unless it's beautifully told. And like, I don't know about you guys, but like kind of watching how she met all these guys wasn't that interesting because you knew that she wasn't really going to get together with them. So it didn't really matter.
Yeah, and you have to live up to the audience's imagination, how they imagined these people met, and you know, it's the prequel trilogy paradox, I guess.
Which is also interesting because the way that she describes meeting Harry in the first one isn't how it actually goes out in the second one. So, like, there is some continuity errors as well.
Retconning its own fucking story.
Yeah.
I mean, see, that's another thing that I didn't know about this movie, and it's another reason for me to dislike it.
When I watched our first movie, I watched it with friends, and we had a great time. We sang along when we watched it. After the movie ended, we sang along after. So when I saw the trailer for this one, I was like, oh, I'm kind of excited. And then as the trailer went on, the whole thing is like, oh, wait a second. Did they kill off Meryl Streep?
Yeah, we'll get to that, but holy fuck. She is front and center of that movie poster, man. It's pretty bad.
I think that's why, because the first movie, so much of the weight was kind of the relationship between the mother and daughter. And this one and the second one, it's there. And those are the better scenes in the film.
Yeah.
But it's not highlighted as not, it's not highlighted in a way or not highlighted enough to really land it because you spend so much time doing the whole like, well, let's do boy number 1, boy number 2, and boy number 3.
Basically written itself into a corner with the structure of the first movie here, right? Because we know she's going to meet these 3 guys and she's going to meet them all in quick enough succession to not know. I mean, I'm assuming, like I say, I haven't seen the first movie. I'm assuming they never actually solve who the father is, right?
No, they don't. They're at the wedding. And Meryl Streep's like, I want to just welcome, Sophie's dad. And Sophie's like, Mom, I know. And she's just like, how can you know? I don't even know. And like all 3 of them stand up in the wedding and they're like, what do you mean you don't know?
This whole thing just seems like a massive child support dodge to me. But there are 5 musicals that I actually like out of all of the history of musical cinema. There are 5.
That's very specific.
Ooh, I want to guess.
Okay, you want to guess? I mean, we may be here a while.
Dancer in the Dark.
Okay, there's 6 if you include Dancer in the Dark. I tried to block that one out of my memory because it's just so fucking bleak.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So no, I'll change my criteria. There are 5 musicals that I will actually go back to and watch over and over again.
Chicago.
No, I can't.
I'd be so surprised if that was. I don't know why I laughed instinctively at that.
Can't stand Chicago.
Is one of them Cabaret?
No, not a big fan of Cabaret.
Good. Not that I don't like the movie, but I just can't imagine somebody watching it.
Is it one of the ones that we probably have never seen in our entire lives?
I can guarantee that you've seen at least one of them.
One?
Yeah.
I'm afraid of the answer because we all know how I feel about this one, but La La Land.
Oh, no, I'm not a fan of that either.
Both me and Laura just shocked.
No, thank you, Rodey.
Oh, you mean Moonlight?
Wow.
Okay, On the Town. The Gene Kelly, Frank Sinatra 1949 musical is one of them because it was the first musical to ever film on location, which I think is fucking awesome that they were literally doing all of these song and dance routines around New York when they were filming that. And then we jump forward like 40 years to Labyrinth, which I count as a musical because it has a lot of Bowie songs in it.
Wait, how many songs does Labyrinth have?
How many songs? Enough to fill an entire soundtrack.
Does he sing that much in there?
There's Magic Dance, there's Underground, there's As the World Falls Down.
Something about the babe.
That's Magic Dance.
Okay. I don't know the name.
What? How many songs do have to be in a film to quantify as a musical?
Okay, fine. Well, let's ditch Labyrinth and put Dancer in the Dark there instead then. But I don't want to go back and watch Dancer. I saw Dancer in the Dark one time when it was in theaters, and the silence at the end of that movie still haunts me to this day. Number 3, Little Shop of Horrors.
I haven't seen that in years.
You know, they're
Oh my
they're
God.
remaking it with Chris Evans in the Steve Martin role.
Why does everything have to have Chris Evans in it?
Because people like me will go and see it.
Fair enough.
You went so hard on that. Because people like me, Chris Evans.
I will go see it. You put Chris Evans in the like starring lineup? Hell yeah, I'm there.
Number 4, South Park, bigger, longer, and uncut.
Oh yeah,
That's a good one. Yeah.
That one slaps. Now I want to go back and watch that again. Even
That film holds up. And also, one that I went to see at the movies thinking it was going to be shit and actually came away from fucking loving it, Hairspray.
oh, I love that.
Really?
Which one?
I was
Well,
not
the
ready
1988
for that.
one's not a musical, really. It has music in it, but
I did not know that.
I love both. Yeah, the original isn't a musical, but it is a great movie. It's really good. Oh yeah.
No, Hairspray is solid, and also filmed in Toronto. So
I actually watched Hairspray and Across the Universe back to back in theaters. I found a theater that was showing both of them in the same evening, and I'm like, this is the greatest night of my life.
that's a solid night.
Yeah.
let's do the box office for this movie. This movie came out on the 20th of July, 2018. We all went to the movies that weekend.
Did we really?
Do you know what movie we went to see that weekend?
Sorry to bother you.
It was Sorry to Bother You. That's a good movie. You've got Lakeith Steinfeld being awesome. You've got noted cannibal Armie Hammer in there. I seem to remember there being some horse dong in that movie. So
Yes.
give me that over Mamma Mia any day of the week.
I mean, that's just no contest, though.
Yeah, I guess. Okay. This movie opened at number 2. It did 34 million, which is pretty fucking solid. That's actually the highest grossing opening weekend for a Meryl Streep movie. Not that you could even really call this a Meryl Streep movie, but
I mean, she was probably paid that much to be in it anyway, so.
this whole thing just smells of people having paychecks wafted under their noses, right?
Mm-hmm.
Weird thing about the box office this weekend is that every movie in the top 5 is a sequel. So when people say to me, oh, why do you do a podcast about sequels? It is because originality is dead, and this weekend is proof. Number 1, beating out Mamma Mia.
Mamma Mia!
I haven't seen this, and I'm assuming that Denzel Washington's just on autopilot in it. The Equalizer 2.
Didn't even see the
no.
first one.
Haven't seen that.
Yeah, he's just killing
seen
time between, actual movies. Number 3 is another franchise that I am blissfully unaware of. Hotel Transylvania Free Summer Vacation.
Oh, okay. I've only seen like the ending clip of it where they do the Macarena to like, spoiler alert, they do the Macarena to like, I don't know, ward off some demon thing.
How old were these writers? That's very current for children, is the Macarena.
Well, I guess my argument is like when Shrek came out, I had no idea what any of those songs they did at the end of it. I'm bringing Shrek. It's
The
a
original- The original Shrek came out in like 2000 or something.
All right.
So
I know, but all the songs in
Yeah,
that.
guys, I'm done. You can carry on doing the box office, but I just...
Oh my
Yes.
god.
It always comes back to Shrek.
Shrek is a classic, and that's why it gets thrown into the dialogue.
It's true. Can we do Shrek 2? Can that be the good with numbers? Please?
Hey, you pick your own. You're responsible for your own in that month. Number 4 at the box office. I have actually seen this movie. Don't remember a damn thing about it. Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oh, that one's okay. As far as Ant-Man goes, I enjoyed that one.
Number 5. I must have been really busy this summer because I've barely seen any of these films. The Incredibles 2.
Oh!
I haven't seen that yet either.
I love that one.
I heard mixed things.
I mean, I didn't love the original, and
Oh, really?
I never really cared much about that first movie.
Part of me knows why. I think the reason why you weren't watching as many movies is because you were spending time with us.
I'm sure we were out frolicking in the sunshine. Remember when you could go outside? Oh, so good. Yeah. Okay, so that was the box office. I mean, other stuff that was kicking around. Future episode Jurassic Park Forbidden Kingdom. Holy shit, that film sucks. And also the aforementioned Sorry to Bother You was just sneaking around at the bottom of the top 10. So I guess we were helping it clamber in
Heck
there
yeah.
that weekend. Let's talk about fucking Mamma Mia. Here we
Mamma
go
Mia.
again. This movie starts in 1979 with Lily James, who I guess is playing the Meryl Streep character from the first movie. Like I say, I don't know. I just assume that, right? She's graduating from Oxford.
Is that where she is?
Yeah, that's where she's meant to be. Spoilers, kids. We don't have valedictorians in British education, so straight out of the gate, this movie's full of shit.
Damn.
She's got her two friends, young Julie Walters and young Christine Baranski. They're kind of like the stealthy best thing in this shit show because at least the impressions are good and they look the part, right? Like that young Christine Baranski really looks like her.
Yeah, they were fantastic. And honestly, it's weird for me because I just kept thinking, is like, really, you didn't change your hairstyle in the past 20 years? Really?
And the two friends had to have the exact same hairstyles.
And like, I get it because I probably, if they had different hairstyles, I would be confused and I would, feel cheated. But also I find myself as an audience member, like, really? That's what you look like? Even though, I look the same as I did. Probably.
I mean, I've had the same hairstyle for 22 years, so I can't really pass comment on that.
But you change it at least once.
Well, I just grow it and then I get bored and cut it all off again. So yeah, they're graduating from Oxford and they launch straight into a rendition of "When I Kissed the Teacher," which is a shocking statement about the ethics of relationships between students and their teachers and how that position of trust can be exploited for emotional gain. Psych, they're on bicycles now. Straight away, I'm just hating this movie.
I'm surprised that many people had bicycles.
I mean, they're students, right?
I guess.
Yeah, I'm surprised some of them weren't on fucking unicycles and shit.
No budget for that.
And this is kind of like what you were saying earlier about people in the background in musicals, right? There's like an inherent narcissism to being the lead in a musical, right? You're kind of like,
oh my God,
everybody stop what you're doing in the real world because I'm going to do a song for 5 minutes. And if you don't join in the background, you're going to look fucking weird, right?
The peer pressure of musicals. I never understood that scene.
Oh man, I went to a musical high school and it just...
Wait, you went to High School Musical?
Oh my God. I actually love High School Musical. That was my jam for a long time. And I will stand by that. But also the second one is iconic where Zac Efron is just running through the golf course.
Bet on it? No.
Does he have a shirt on?
It is Bet on it. And yes, he does. It's a polo.
A polo shirt? Wow.
It's an iconic scene. A lot of people of a certain generation just know it. I'm assuming that if any of us ever want to go golfing and we're with Laura, she'll be tempted.
First of all, if you can get me to go golfing, good on you. Second of all, yes, that's exactly what I'll be fucking doing.
I mean, for this number though, like I was super, I don't know, I didn't like the song and it wasn't like, for every musical you need to have like this amazing opening number. And I'm like,
I'm not familiar with this fucking song. I didn't even know this was an ABBA song. So
a lot of these ones I didn't know of. And also I found that the singers were just, they didn't have that like power to it at all. Like they were just kind of chill. And I wonder if that's because I've been spoiled by, Idina Menzel or whatever, the
Adele Dazeem,
actress from Frozen.
Idina, she's been in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, her power is unbelievable. Like you can just feel it from her diaphragm, and I don't know.
Wasn't she in Wicked? She was in the stage version of Wicked, and she was also in Rent.
Yep.
Yeah.
She's been in a lot of stuff. Yeah.
She's a Broadway icon.
I've seen her in person. Yeah. No biggie. It was the Uncut Gems premiere. But yeah.
Name dropping.
Yeah, a little bit. Anyway, we cut to Amanda Seyfried, who is in the present as Meryl Streep's daughter, and straight away it's like, oh shit, Meryl Streep is dead.
Yep.
She's like I said, she's right in the middle of the poster, and she gets an and Meryl Streep credit. So we should have maybe suspected something was up with that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what was she busy the weekend that it took them to shoot this?
I don't know. I guess it's supposed to show the independence of Sophie now, and allegedly it's cancer. Was that ever mentioned in the movie? Does anyone notice that?
The next note I have literally says the movie doesn't bother telling us how she died.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it's cancer, so it's not even like something fun that kills her. Oh.
Allegedly, as far as Wikipedia is telling me, it's just that, and it's 5 years after the wedding. So you can see that Pierce Brosnan is a little aged He's got his little peppering going on.
I didn't get that this was meant to be 5 years later. I just assumed this was meant to be 10 years later because it's the 10-year gap between the movies. So,
as far as I gathered, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I thought she's 25 now, right? Because she got married at 20.
Damn.
Or she didn't get married. She ran away at the altar, and then Meryl Streep got married. But yeah, I thought I heard 25. I don't know.
Okay.
Who cares? I don't think it matters. This plot doesn't matter.
Amanda Seyfried's Sophie is moping because
for the entire film. she's just constantly
fixing up her mom's hotel, and she's trying to figure out how to get people to go there, even though it's a hotel on a beautiful island and the internet exists. So there's this thing called Airbnb where you can literally just put shit like fucking pictures on there and be like, look how fucking awesome this hotel is, and it's on a fucking awesome island. Like, I don't know why she thinks she thinks she needs to throw a big party, and meanwhile her husband's like, I have this awesome job, come live with me, and she's like, no.
Yeah, he's like he gets offered a job managing a hotel in New York, right? And apparently he's there in New York to go on a training course to learn how to manage a hotel. I mean, that's like me being made the CEO of McDonald's after my first go at using the fryer, right?
Yes. It's very strange. Yeah.
And look, I like Amanda Seyfried, right? I think she's
Jennifer's Body.
Joke for joke, she's the funniest performance in Mean Girls, okay?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh my god.
She's really good in Mank. She's probably like better than the actual movie around her in that one.
Mm-hmm.
But like you say, all she's doing is just kind of swanning around this hotel, looking either thirsty or bored.
She's in my favorite musical. She's in Les Mis.
That's your favorite musical?
Yeah, Les Mis is my favorite musical.
Oh, do you remember that night that we did karaoke? And
I was hoping you weren't going to remember that.
Jams, and then somebody threw on Les Mis.
Remember when Rodey and I were singing, and I was so drunk I couldn't see, so I couldn't read the lyrics, and then I couldn't hear, and I didn't know where we were in the song. And I just remember crying on Rodney's shoulder because I was so lost.
Karaoke is it's fun. Everyone should do it, but then you realize when you actually put a song on how either difficult or how either like long it actually is, and then you realize you hit the point where you regret pressing play.
Yeah, you start singing it and you realize that you can't possibly sing in that key, but you have the entire rest of the song to get through. So you're like,
that night was when we impulsively decided to do karaoke, and we went to that place and they were like, you can have a room, but you've got to spend $150 behind the bar. And we were like, oh, it seems like a lot. And then we spent between like, I don't know, 9-10 of us, we spent like $150 in 20 minutes.
Yeah, that was amazing. And the amount of shots that like that wasn't bought was obnoxious. And I remember I had a road trip the next day.
Yep.
And I have never been more miserable in my entire life than on that 2-hour drive.
Oh, I miss karaoke.
Me too.
Me too.
But yeah, Les Mis, I don't like the movie per se, but like I like her in it. I don't much care for Gerard Crow in it. Neth, who was in it?
I think you mean Russell Butler is in that movie.
Okay, so it was Russell Butler. Okay, Amanda Seyfried's her husband or whatever. I didn't like that actor at all, but the actual musical and how it's very minimalistic and the set changes around them, I find that sick. I love seeing the actual live version of it.
Oh yeah, that movie had like a visual touch to this. This movie was like, the more I think about it, it's kind of like a Hallmark film.
It is.
Because literally every Hallmark film is like, I lost my mother to cancer, and now I have to rebuild this old, I don't know, shop, restaurant, a bridge to keep her memory. And I'm like,
no, I don't remember that part of the Christmas Prince.
It's taking away the two best parts of that premise, though, because Amanda Seyfried is rebuilding a hotel, but she's not going to fall in love again. She's already in love. And the younger version of Donna, we don't even know her that well. So watching her take an interest in a hotel is like, eh.
I think as well, chemistry is a very important thing. And to have a movie about a girl finding, like, running into three guys and like how that world, like the summer of romance, I felt none of the romance. Like none of them no guy had chemistry with the main.
Oh god, yeah. I mean, we'll get to that, but holy shit. So Amanda Seyfried doesn't want to go to New York. She kind of stoically says, I'm always going to be here. Like, what, is she a fucking ghost? It's like the Greek Overlook or something. Is that how Meryl died?
That would have been. Somebody needs to make a musical version of The Shining.
Yeah. It can happen. They made American Psycho into a musical. They made there's a lot of movies that they made Ghost into a musical.
Oh God.
Interesting.
It can happen.
But yeah, Sophie's constantly like, well, I have to stay here. And everybody around her is like, but do you?
It's one of the ones that don't understand them and they don't understand the relationship. Because first off, he went abroad to learn something. And a part of me is like, did you ever have the question or talk about what happens if you got a job there?
Yeah.
Like, did you have that?
Well, I don't think so, because he said that he was just going to learn. So, like, I don't think that he thought that he would be that good. And I think the other thing is that I know that at the end of the first one, they go off to travel the world. So I'm wondering what's making Sophie think that she has to stay there.
Yeah.
Plot.
You know what I mean? Like, why? You just went around the world.
Is it some kind of like devotion to her mother's memory, maybe? I don't know.
That's what I'm thinking. Because, I mean, I thought it was really cute that they had all of the pictures of Meryl Streep all over the place when it was finally decorated.
But they all just look like promo shots from the first movie.
They absolutely were.
Yeah. Well, she thinks that she has to stay because her mother, quote unquote, gave up traveling the world to stay and run this hotel because she was pregnant. That's what Sophie thinks happened. So she thinks that she has to sacrifice her own life.
She's got a little bit of Stockholm syndrome going on
because of that. My mom had to give up her life. I guess I'll just do what she did. Like, no, you don't have to.
I do get where where she's coming from. I could see that I wouldn't want my mom's dreams wasted. I wouldn't want what she went through to mean nothing if I were just to go on and sell the shit that she worked her entire life building up from literally ground up. So I get that in a way. I didn't get that feeling though.
Yeah, because she hired that dude who seems perfectly capable of running the hotel.
Right.
His sweet accent, good-looking older dude.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Fernando?
Okay. All right. Look, here's how this movie came about. Mm-hmm. Somebody made an ABBA playlist on Spotify. Then they put it on shuffle. And they wrote down all the names of the songs that came out. Mm-hmm. And then they, in the most half-assed manner possible, they tried to create some connecting tissue between them. And while they were doing that, Godfather Part 2 was on the TV in the background. And they just went, oh yeah, okay, what we'll do is we'll have like two stories running in different time periods at the same time. And boom, that is it. That is how they wrote this fucking movie.
Yeah.
Is that how Godfather 2 works?
Pretty much.
Never seen it.
And speaking of Godfather and tying it into what we were just saying, Fernando, played by Andy Garcia.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What are you doing, Andy Garcia? You're so much better than this.
He probably made a hefty paycheck.
He's pretty far away from the Untouchables in this movie. Damn.
No, I'm thinking like when Laura mentioned she couldn't feel it, I wonder, like, not to knock Lily James or the actors, or like a part of me wonders if it was cast different, if they gave a different performance. Like, because a part of me sees all the things there and how it could be a good movie. But like, again, for me, and I don't know if I mentioned this, but like, first act, great. Third act, great. Middle act, I'm like, you get super bored. And like, after a while, you're like, wait, this movie's still on?
So I don't think it's the casting, in my personal opinion. I think it's the pacing.
It's the story. Yeah.
It's the actual writing and it's the pacing, because if they had leaned into Sophie and the memories and like why she felt so connected instead of like throwing it all into the last, like in that third act, then I would also be a little bit more invested. But I think the problem is as well with Mamma Mia, the original, is the pacing is off too. Okay. So I think it's just legitimately how they are trying to tell this story is wrong.
Yeah, there's no emotional weight given to hardly anything. So the musical segments, in my opinion, for me anyways, don't work as well because there's no, like, we don't know Lily when we meet her. We don't know much about her other than the fact that her mom's a singer and she wants to travel, and that's it. Yeah. You know, I mean, at the end, the choice that she makes at the end, sorry, did I say Lily? I meant Donna.
Well, I mean, now we know which Donna you're talking about.
Yeah, young Donna. The choice that she makes at the end is actually like my favorite bit because we actually get a glimpse into what her values are and what her priorities are as a human being. We get to know her a little bit more, but
Yeah, her personality is no longer overalls.
we don't know anything about Donna going into it, so it's hard to find any emotional depth to, you know, what is happening. It's just a bunch of musical sequences.
Now, don't get me wrong though, with Meryl Streep, whenever her and Amanda would be on screen together,
Amazing.
I sobbed.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even kidding. Like my t-shirt. So I was watching it in bed on my laptop. My t-shirt, the front of my t-shirt was soaked. And Cohen was going like into the other room.
Yeah.
And he stopped to look at me quickly and it was just like, don't look at me.
No,
and
like
literally losing it.
No, okay, I will agree. Like we were earlier talking in another conversation about like what our favorite musical scene is, and I think it's the one where she's like in the church and then it slowly reveals it's like Meryl Streep. I was like, this is solid. This is like gold. This is what the movie should have been from the beginning.
The birth scene is what gave me the feels. I'm like,
wow.
Of course.
I mean, there are other reasons for that, but you know, like that's where I really started to get pulled in the last 15 minutes of the movie.
I was totally fine, like absolutely good until they go into the church and then she's standing there waiting at the altar because like that's I don't know what it is, but I just like lost it. And there's in the first movie the scene where she's helping Sophie get ready for her wedding.
Slipping through my fingers?
Yes, slipping through my fingers is not okay. That's not an okay thing to ever. But then that's when they're talking about how, you know, she talks about the little things and how she misses the time she spent with her daughter and how she wishes she could pause time because it's going too fast. And now she's giving away her daughter. And it just like every single time I watch it, I lose it. And it's just like, I don't know. I cry for about half an hour after I have to pause the movie.
The thing is with this movie, like part of me is like, whatever. But like I feel like if I were to watch this, I did watch this with my mom when I watched it the first time. And it was like just a great experience because like the mother-daughter beats are so strong. When you hit that scene, you like look at your mom and you're just like, let's have a hug.
I haven't hid this. Like my mom and I are very, very close. So like those scenes when they actually get it right, get really under my skin and just break down every wall that I have. I'm just like, oh my God. So I don't know. When they get it right, they really get it right, but it takes them so long. Like the entire movie, I did not give a shit.
Yeah.
Until that last fucking song and got me. Just like, are you joking?
Because they have to keep pausing all of the plot development to do song sequences. It doesn't.
I guess it's just hard to do like tell a story using ABBA songs. So, if you had a choice, would you want to? This is weird and gross. As now I'm thinking about it. Never mind. No. I'll say it.
You gotta say it.
Okay. It's all like chemistry and whatnot, and sometimes with romances, sometimes you watch it because of the physical attraction. So, were you more physically attracted to the older versions of the three guys or the younger versions of the three guys?
Oh my God!
On which one? Because, okay, I would say that, like, young Bill Anderson was pretty good looking, and so is young Sam, and wasn't feeling young Harry.
Which one's which again?
Okay, so the second and third young people were pretty attractive to me. First one was not feeling.
You mean Harry? I was feeling Harry. I was like, look at him all like, kind of nerdy.
Really? I don't know. He just had this like.
I guess it can't compete with Colin Firth. I mean, Colin Firth can walk in a room, and I feel like
Harry. Yes,
absolutely.
Yes. Colin Firth. I don't know. I was. I don't even remember what the young guys looked like. So that just shows how much I was attracted to them. I like Pierce Brosnan looks good at any age. In my opinion,
I agree.
And Colin Firth, awesome. The guy who played Fernando. Sorry, what was his name again?
Andy Garcia.
My brain's farting.
Dominic Cooper or Sky.
Oh, Dominic Cooper.
Handsome.
Yo, he's Preacher. He has like.
Oh, Dominic Cooper. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, looking ace. There's they do the rendition in the first movie though. It's
Don't go chasing.
Don't go or lay all your love on me. That's it.
Yeah.
He sounds like John Mulaney in it, and I can't get over it.
Meant to watch it again.
Yeah.
I think
you can just listen to the song.
Okay.
Don't watch the whole movie. Don't put yourself through that.
But it's campy. That's why I was saying, like, this movie had less camp than the first one.
Mhm.
And then this movie had Cher. And I'm like, I don't even know how that is possible.
Yeah, how do you get less campy, but you have Cher in it? Huh.
I don't know. I guess maybe, like you said, the pacing was off, and they didn't give, like we talked about this earlier, they didn't give enough time to the dance sequences. Like the Lay All Your Love on Me scene. Like, first off, they're on a beach, crawling on the ground, singing to each other.
Wow.
And that's ridiculous. And then all of a sudden, his bachelor party come out of the ocean and start like snorkel dancing. I'm like, that's camp. There was after Waterloo, there was like none of that until Colin Firth shows up.
Yeah,
that's true.
Speaking of that Waterloo sequence, this is where Lily James, she meets young Colin Firth, and I guess he's played by like fucking some Eddie Redmayne looking motherfucker. I don't know who this guy is, but he dresses like a punk, but is probably like the least punk thing ever.
I think that's part of the character.
My note was, why is Harry's coat so small? And why is Harry walking so weird?
Yeah.
I just felt like his body language was kind of fucked up and not natural, but maybe that's just the actor. I don't know.
Harry's supposed to be spontaneous or something like that, and clearly he's not, but he's working against that, so I guess it's supposed to be a confidence thing.
Also, he can't really sing that well.
They go for dinner, and she tells him that she's heard about this island in Greece where apparently you can see the edge of the world. I'm just thinking, is Donna a flat earther?
She did say the world is wide.
They do this rendition of Waterloo because he tells her that he's a virgin. And again, it's just people standing in rooms singing ABBA songs, right? It's like it has no visual panache to it at all.
They did a little bit more here. They did the whole thing like, let's put the chairs in and we follow that as they step on it. Yeah. Then they had that large wide shot where they were all together doing a dance movement. Like
that was weird.
I thought it was interesting, and at least it like was trying something compared to everything else.
And then Lily James just kind of pity fucks this guy anyway, right?
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
We go back to Amanda Seyfried Land where Pierce Brosnan shows up, and he's like moping around this hotel as well. Everybody in this hotel is so fucking mopey.
Sorry, I just had a thought. Because I was complaining about how like they just move around, but then a part of me is like, there are musicals like Once, and I'm like, they're just sitting the piano, but like that's a good scene.
Once has like some emotional heft to it, right?
Yeah, like the sex thing. One of them said, "I thought it was miraculous," and I was like, "Really? They could have shown us some of that instead of cutting."
Yeah, man. Megan, I've got a bone to pick with you because on our Matrix episode, you promised me that there was like a.
I promised you no such thing. I was making assumptions based on the trailer.
I feel somewhat shortchanged by this.
This is a movie that's meant for moms and their daughters to watch. It's good. You don't want them to have the scene that's very awkward where you see them having sex. No one wants to watch a movie with sex with their parents.
I honestly thought that a movie about a young woman, banging 3 different guys in a very short period of time in the same summer would be, more interesting than this.
Yeah, I mean, this movie is very chaste.
Yeah, it's being pretty chaste for a movie about, a story about a woman who doesn't know the father of her child because of, and I'm not making any moral judgment on sexual proclivity here. I don't really care.
I am. This girl likes
It's like, yeah, okay, she has a very friendly fuck with this guy, and then with this guy, and then with this guy.
So I want to ask this to Neth. Imagine there's like is it Pedro? God, he did like Women on the Verge of a Nervous Breakup.
Oh, Pedro Almodovar?
Yeah. And like, I feel like I'm curious because he has a pretty interesting like grasp on like the female perspective, particularly with his movies. So I'm wondering how he would take this film. And I feel like that movie would be amazing.
Oh my God. I would fucking love to see that. I mean, that's kind of part of the problem, right? Is this director, Ol Parker, he doesn't have much of a visual style. He doesn't really seem to have much of a take on the material. It all just feels very pedestrian.
Yeah, like the musical sequences don't move anything forward, and it's like it doesn't have to be complex, but like the interplay between the characters during the musical sequences, like some of the body language, like that's a perfect place to tell us more about the character characters, but it doesn't.
Was he a musical director?
No, I don't think so. Anyway, yeah, we get Pierce Brosnan moping around. He sings a song, and I gotta admit, I was like led to believe from what people said about him in the first movie that his singing was like super cringy. I didn't think it was actually that bad.
First one is a little bit rougher.
Okay.
It's not horrific, but I wouldn't say that he's suited to a musical.
No,
I agree.
but it wasn't like the worst thing I ever heard.
I mean, it's not as bad as Gerard Butler trying to sing opera.
Oh, well, fuck that Phantom of the Opera movie. I hate that film so much.
Wait, wasn't Russell... No, sorry. They were both in musicals?
Yeah, that's right. They alternated roles between scenes.
No, for real, Jared Butler was in a musical? No. Yes? Was he?
Yeah, dude, he played the fucking Phantom in that Joel Schumacher Phantom of the Opera movie. I'm pretty sure we've talked about it on the podcast before.
Yes.
I guess it's one of the movies that you just forget happened.
Yeah, I kind of wish it never happened.
He scream sings. Even Bruce Willis was better. Well, Bruce Willis wasn't singing opera, but like in Hudson Hawk.
Hell yeah, Bruce Willis is better in Hudson Hawk. Maybe I'm going to put that on my musicals list as well, because that's borderline a musical.
I haven't seen it in a long time.
Yeah, I can't stand Andrew Lloyd Webber. Sorry, Laura. Anyway, Lily James tells this Eddie Redmayne kid to fuck off, and then she gets on a boat with young Stellan Skarsgård. It's a good job that Stellan Skarsgård doesn't have like any sons that look like him that could have, maybe played this role. It's not like
it would be really expensive. A lot of them.
Yeah, I think they have better things to do than be in this movie.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know. Alexander Skarsgård is in that new fucking adaptation of The Stand, and that thing fucking sucks.
Who did he play in that?
He plays Randall Flagg.
Oh.
I mean, he's like the most watchable thing in that show, but holy hell, that show is a mess.
Okay. I mean, as much as I hated The Dark Tower, Matthew McConaughey actually, because that version of the Man in Black was basically Randall Flagg.
Yeah, sure.
Which I don't like the combining of those characters, but that's a whole other rant. But Matthew McConaughey playing Randall Flagg actually makes sense to me because, like, he would rock that. He would totally embody that.
No, that Stand TV show is terrible. There's this set piece. They're on a yacht now, and there's this set piece where some guy that they pick up from a boat. He needs to get to an island to stop the love of his life from marrying someone else, even though, maybe she wants to marry that other person. We're never really given her perspective on anything. And there's kind of like a lot of farting around on the sea here, and I just don't care about any of it.
Really quick though, best song in the movie.
The boat?
Yes.
I don't even remember.
Can't even remember it.
Really?
I can't remember which one was on the boat either.
Why did it have to be me?
Oh.
I mean, is this movie just compiled of ABBA B-sides or something? Because
yes, they used up all the A-sides in the first movie.
Yeah, I wasn't ready to like the song as much as I did. I have not fucking stopped listening.
This is the one?
I couldn't. I don't know why. And I think it was because I remember thinking that all of the songs were flat up until that point. And then there were some really strong vocals in that, and I was like, this is the best song so far. And I kept comparing all of the songs after to it too, and I was just like, these songs fucking suck too. So what happened? And I don't know. I really like Josh Dillon in it. I thought he was charming, and I really like that song. I don't know, but arguably to me, that is the best song that came out of Mamma Mia 2.
Okay, fair enough.
Or I was just more entertained by him trying to leave some poor dude floating around in the ocean just because he wanted to get laid on his yacht.
Hell yeah. Why not?
Stop cock blocking me, man who's stranded. Fuck off.
Right. He's just like, you'll be fine. We'll call the Coast Guard, like, goodbye. Let me smash.
Yeah, exactly.
They get to the island. They find this abandoned hotel, or she finds an abandoned hotel. She runs into young Pierce Brosnan, who's played by the kid from Warhorse.
Yep.
They hook up, and then they break up because apparently he's engaged to somebody else. And we get Knowing Me, Knowing You. Made me laugh for all the wrong reasons.
I just remember that ending with her sad and then just caressing a horse at the end. And I was like, I guess.
She poked the horse in the eye. Can we talk about that?
I didn't hear her do that, but if she did, fuck her.
The horse, like, kind of pulls back and she, like, tries to hold on because she poked it in the eye.
No.
But there's that storm that's going on in Sophieland.
Yeah.
And there's that cut back to her trying to hold the welcome sign up, and then Pierce Brosnan comes over to help her, like he helped her mom, and that caught me in the feels. I was just like,
Aw.
that's a cute little snippet. I like that.
I should have watched this first movie because none of this did a fucking thing for me. I was just like,
because she was like, oh, I was afraid this might happen, and I'm like, well, why is your entire party outside then? You don't have a backup plan? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, no, I think even in the first one, Sophie is not the type of character that I'd be like friends with in real life.
Yeah.
It's like everything is about her all the time.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't care about her friends. Literally, her friends come over. This is a Hallmark movie where the friends just come over to like help out the main lead and cure all her problems. Like there's a whole storyline where one of her friends likes one of the guys, and a part of me, that's a really tough position to be in. Let's focus on her.
For Donna, you mean? Yeah, or one of her friends has a crush on the
Rosie Terry, right?
Has a crush on the
Bill.
Swedish guy.
Bill.
Yeah, the Swedish guy, or the skinny, whatever, the blonde dude.
Bill.
I don't know who. I don't remember anybody's names anymore.
It's okay.
Yeah, and then we cut to modern day Colin Firth, who's contractually obliged to be here, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we also get in quick succession Stellan Skarsgård in a fat suit.
I see what you're trying to do here. You're trying to skip over the fact that anime was on the side of the Tokyo building, and I will not let that go. That was amazing. I can't believe that Boruto made it into this movie. And like, of all the anime that could be represented, that was it. Are you joking? I don't know.
I think they probably need like what's Japan? I don't know. What anime do you know? Oh, I guess Boruto. There.
How much do you think that they paid to have that in there?
I don't know. Like, I guess they would have to clear it.
Yeah.
This is just getting too weird. This is, even though part of me is more interested in this.
Right?
Yeah.
How do they clear Naruto and Boruto?
Yeah.
I mean, grab what you can from this movie, right?
Yeah.
Unless they're like synergy, the audience for Mamma Mia would totally be into Boruto. So, well, actually,
so you know those like what are they? The overlapping circle charts?
Venn diagram.
Yeah. Venn diagram.
Yeah, the Venn diagram. I'm in that little tiny triangle where it's like musical, cries at like memories of your mom, and also likes anime. That's me. That little tiny Venn diagram.
It was made for you.
What? Like, why?
Yo, would you watch Mamma Mia 2 as an anime?
Mamma Mia!
What
Yes.
would that even be?
Okay, so then it would be the ultimate like time skip anime where like Sophie would go back and party with her mom and learn more about her mom.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right?
I don't know, well, the first movie had like a fountain that broke, so maybe when the fountain breaks, somehow the water makes her go back in time. And there you go.
God. There
Yeah,
we go.
what this movie really needed was a DeLorean.
Yes.
But can't you say that about every movie?
I was gonna say every movie needs a DeLorean. Let's be real.
Think about it. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. If a DeLorean showed up, you'd be like, oh, cool.
Oh, wait.
This is even better
Is
now.
that movie called Fallen Kingdom? I think I called it Forbidden Kingdom earlier.
No, that's that terrible Jet Li film that had like...
My bad. Yeah, so after we see some anime, apparently,
Yeah.
we see Stellan Skarsgård wearing a fat suit, and it's actually his character's twin brother because this movie suddenly thinks it's the fucking Clumps or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah. Okay, now I remember this scene. Yeah.
And then there's the scene with Lily James and the younger versions of Julie Walters and Christine Baranski where they sing Mamma Mia in the restaurant.
Yeah, I like that.
Because you got to shoehorn that in there somewhere.
I like Lily James's singing better when she doesn't have any of the backing track. She's actually really shows off her vocal skills when it just has her going a cappella. I wish there had been more of that in the movie. I like it.
But also that song actually kind of made sense for the moment where like she was cheated and now she's just trying to get over it. I'm like, okay, this makes sense. This logically fits into the story.
Yeah, and I mean, look, I fucking hate ABBA, right? When I was a kid, we had 2 cassettes in the car. One of them was a Liverpool band called The Spinners, not the Motown band, and the other one was ABBA's Greatest Hits. And we took a lot of car journeys backwards and forwards, and that was all we ever seemed to listen to. And I just got so fucking sick of hearing ABBA. And I remember one year my brother got a Sony Walkman for Christmas, which meant that he then managed to negate listening to ABBA on any car trips. And I would just like be nudging him in the back seat, like, what are you listening to? What are you listening to? And he would like hold up the Footloose soundtrack or something. And I'd be like, can I like get a shot on that? And it was like a hard no. So I was just stuck listening to fucking ABBA on a loop. That said, Mamma Mia is a catchy song.
Yep.
It's an earworm. But also catchy doesn't mean good. Because you know what else is catchy? Coronavirus is catchy.
ABBA ruined the world is what you're saying.
Yeah, I equate ABBA to being the same as the fucking thing that has caused the pandemic that has ruined all our lives.
No, I don't mind ABBA. Like, I take it for what it is, and it's like kind of, well, it's escapist music, and I'm like, it's fun and catchy to sing with your family. Like, if someone like blares this up, I'd be like, yeah, let's do it. But then when I actually listened to the lyrics from Mamma Mia, I was like, I don't like the lyrics.
Well, I think the problem is that because it's Swedish, right? They don't actually know any English.
Did they?
So they don't understand what they're saying.
Really?
I mean, I feel like
as far as that's what I've heard.
Let's go find them, have an interview, and bring our podcast to
most Swedish people have got a pretty good handle on England.
They do.
On English.
On English, yeah. No. But this is just what I've heard. I could totally be wrong, so I'd love for people to like let me know.
You can write into the podcast at bwnpod@gmail.com and let us know if Laura is correct.
Please correct me.
Or we can go to the ABBA Museum in Sweden, and they have a phone. I don't know why I know this, I just do. They have like a phone there that you could pick up, and they could be on the other line.
Ring, ring, why don't you give me a call? That's an ABBA song, I think.
Anyway, Amanda Seyfried's all upset about this storm, but then the weather is just like fine again 10 minutes later. And everybody is now on a boat heading over to the island anyway, so I don't really know what she's fucking moaning about.
It's the same fucking ferry booth guy that was there in the...
Love it.
It's the same guy. He doesn't even look like he's aged.
Oh wait, is this the character Omid Djalili plays? He's a pretty well-known British comedian.
He's like, you no longer look like your picture.
Did you guys stay long enough till the end of the credits for his bonus?
There was an end credit?
Yeah, the movie has a post-credits tag.
Yeah.
I didn't see that. I'm gonna have to watch that.
You don't need to watch it.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're all doing Dancing Queen on this boat sequence, and I'm kind of struggling to see what the fuck that has to do with anything in this movie. Like, what does that song have to do with this scene particularly? Nothing.
Because it's really, I don't know. It's upbeat song. It's got to be something exciting for when Amanda Seyfried, who's all mopey, sees the boat full of people coming to her dope ass party that she paid for already.
I guess. I mean, Firth and Skarsgård even do a fucking Titanic reference on this boat.
Yeah, I saw that.
And Karen is sat in the back of the fucking cinema going, Titanic, look, Titanic. I like that movie.
That was me. I am Karen.
And they walked out. Was it Colin Firth that was tied to the chair?
Yes.
Yeah.
What was it? Because he was like, "Oh, sometimes you need some challenges or something like that." And then the
you
one
need
guy
to tie yourself down until.
Yeah. And then the other guy ties him tighter and leaves him there. And we didn't get to see how he extricated himself.
Dominic showed up.
Okay.
Guy was just like, "Oh, I need a hand," and then I guess it's
how they introduced Dominic back into the scene. It's like,
to say that he's also here for Sophie for some reason.
Like, hey, look, your husband.
Here's a theory for you guys. Andy Garcia is actually her dad.
I was going to say Andy Garcia is actually the father of her baby because the fact that she's pregnant does not line up with the...
Either one of those plot lines would make this like way more fucking interesting. Because this movie is just so fucking inert and drama free and just jokeless. Oh, I hate it so much.
Yeah, I don't know. Her being pregnant just brings up so many fucking questions.
That's the trilogy. The third movie is her figuring out who's the father. Andy Garcia.
It's either Andy Garcia
or who's the third?
Pierce Brosnan.
No, it's Omid Djalili. It's the guy in the booth at the
customs guy. Love it.
So the island is its own like Groundhog Day, and basically anyone who shows up, it's just a cycle that repeats. So her daughter is going to have the same problem, and she's going to have to somehow rebuild this, whatever Greek villa. So there you go. This is actually a horror film with ABBA.
I mean, it is a horror film because not long after this, Cher shows up
Oh yeah.
for the opening of the hotel because, fuck it, why not? Apparently she's Meryl Streep's mom and she was absent for a lot of her childhood because she was a famous singer.
I think the movie knows its audience, though. I feel like when Cher is in this, you're like, oh, I feel like the audience.
See, I didn't know she was in it at all.
I love Cher, but I don't know that she really sings in the right key to be singing ABBA.
Well, she's not auto-tuned to shit for a start like she is on pretty much every record she's made after about 1972. But
she's still a fantastic singer. I just don't know that, constraining her to ABBA seems cruel.
Yeah, and we find out that Cher and Garcia used to be a thing, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not buying that, but
of course.
Whatever.
Fernando.
And then they have the big hotel opening, and then 6 months pass, and they're all like shooping their way to the top of this cliff. And I'm kind of just praying that they're all about to go lemmings here and just throw themselves off. But no, it's a christening.
Yep, she schlepped a baby all the way up that mountain.
Yep. An hour and 40 minutes into this movie, here comes Meryl Streep from beyond the grave to pick up her paycheck. Is her character like fucking the character she played in Death Becomes Her? Is she actually immortal? And her and Goldie Hawn are just like hanging out in a cave somewhere on this island?
Side note, they should make a sequel to that. Wait, no, they didn't die at the end. Spoilers, I'm sorry. Continue.
Oh yeah, man, please don't spoil a 29-year-old movie.
But yeah, Sophie has the epiphany that her mom didn't just settle on the island and have a baby. Her mom chose to stay on the island and have a baby. I don't know why this needed to be an epiphany, but apparently it was.
I mean, like, the other thing is that Sophie could have felt very trapped for a lot of the time where she's like, no, I have to stay here. I have to stay here. And then when she came to that epiphany, she's like, no, I want to be here. And like, that could be a little bit freeing in itself, where it's just like, I don't know, for a lot of people, you can find yourself kind of going down the same path as your parents, and that can be terrifying for a lot of reasons. But then when you kind of come to your own conclusion about their journey, you're like, wait a second, and it changes your view. I don't know.
I mean, it's her childhood home, so she doesn't have to like leave it forever, right? And she's got fucking Andy Garcia running her hotel. She doesn't have to have to worry. That guy rocks.
Exactly. Of all the people to have running your hotel, I think I would choose Andy Garcia, or maybe Mr. Mosby from Sweet Life.
Oh man.
I took a turn. I was like, where'd you go with this? I was like, yeah.
That guy was sick. But yeah, honestly, I don't know. I was good, and then I saw that scene, and then I cried, and then what was the last song that they all sung together?
They all do this song and dance routine to Super Trooper, which again has nothing to do with the plot. But all the generations of characters are all there, and they're all mixing and mingling.
I actually really love that scene.
And basically, because they're all in the same space at the same time, the fabric of time and space rips open, and they're all sucked into a vortex, and that's how the movie ends, by destroying the entire universe. Or it just cuts to credits. I don't know. I don't fucking care. I had tapped out so long before this movie finished.
The old and young versions of the characters were dancing with each other, except for one pair of characters.
Harry and Harry?
I think it was Harry and Harry, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's supposed to be like the part of the characters. Like, I wouldn't dance with my younger self.
Yeah.
No, I agree with Megan. The scene was great. I was like, oh, here we go. It's like full of energy, seeing them interact with each other. Like, this is the scene where like I was like with my mom, was like, yeah, let's dance, and then we dance.
No, wholesome.
Yeah, it's like I think this movie knows what it is. I just wish maybe that second act was a bit better, and I probably would like it more. But like Mamma Mia, the first one, I see maybe like once every 2 years.
Okay, so Mamma Mia was originally a West End show, right, and then later a Broadway show.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a lot of movies based on musicals out there.
Mm-hmm.
But what about musicals that are based on movies? You guys want to play a game?
Sure.
Oh.
If I had an air horn, I'd do it right now.
Some films are based on books, and some are based on games. Some are based on TV, it's rarely quite the same. The purpose of this quiz that I will now present: which musicals are based on movies and which did I invent?
My favorite part of that whole thing was just all four of us swaying in like unison.
Okay, so I am going to give you guys in turn the name of a movie, and I want you to tell me if it was ever produced, and I mean professionally produced, not just like some amateur tin pot theater company did it. I want it professionally produced as a musical on a stage.
Okay.
Okay?
Sure.
It's just a yes or no. We don't have anything fancier than that for this quiz, I'm afraid. Okay, Laura, you're first.
Okay.
Was the movie Home Alone ever staged as a musical?
Oh, I would love that, but I don't think so.
That is correct.
Hey!
It has never been a musical of Home Alone, but goddamn, somebody should do that, right?
So good.
I thought for sure it had already been done.
You just have to do it yourself, like the Ratatouille musical.
Ooh.
It was a TikTok musical.
You know what is a musical? I'm not going to bring it up just in case. I'll bring it up at the end.
All right.
Okay. Megan,
Mm-hmm.
the trauma movie, The Toxic Avenger, ever been a musical?
Yes, I believe it has been a musical.
It has been touring since 2008, and it took up a residency in the West End in 2017. Okay. Laura's got one. Megan's got one. Roddy, the 1998 Gwyneth Paltrow movie, Sliding Doors, ever been a musical?
What? I'm going to say no.
That's correct. They've never done a musical, Sliding Doors, and yet it feels like something that somebody would do a musical about, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've never even seen it, so I have no idea.
It's a really like Gwyneth Paltrow.
Okay, Laura,
Yeah.
the 2000 cheerleading comedy, Bring It On.
Oh. No. Really?
It was a musical. It premiered in Georgia in 2011 before moving to Broadway for 6 months in 2012.
Son of a... Can we do that? Can we just put on that musical?
I mean, yeah, sure, why not?
Sounds...
I've got my cheerleading outfit right here.
Hell yeah.
Megan,
Mm-hmm.
4 Weddings and a Funeral. Ever been a musical?
Oh, sure.
No, I'm afraid nobody ever made a musical
I
of
don't
that one.
fucking know. Shot in the dark.
Roddy,
Yes, sir.
the 2004 teen religious comedy, Saved. Ever been a musical?
Hmm.
Good movie.
No, it's a great movie.
I love that movie.
I'll say no.
I'm sorry, that was performed off Broadway in 2008. What are the scores? Megan and Laura have got one each, and Roddy's got none.
I got
Roddy's
one.
got one.
How dare you take that away from me, sir?
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, everybody has a point, so
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
it's still all to play for. And I just want to stress to you guys that in this game,
The winner takes it all.
Love it.
and by that I mean you take nothing. But
Oh.
okay, last round, Laura.
Mhm.
It's one of my favorites. Point Break. Ever been a musical?
Yes? Ah.
I'm afraid no. They did an interactive live stage show in LA where an audience member got to play Keanu's part every night. It doesn't run anymore, otherwise, goddamn, I would have loved that.
That would've
But
been
no, they
fantastic.
never did it as a musical.
That's hilarious.
Boo.
Megan,
Mm-hmm.
it's the 2nd of February today.
Oh.
Has Groundhog Day ever been a musical?
Oh, not that I know of. Oh, it is a musical?
It was a West End show by Tim Minchin, and it transferred to Broadway. And it
Really?
closed pretty quickly.
Holy shit.
I love the reactions for this. Like when you're wrong and it's like you find out it actually is a musical, it's like almost better.
Last one, Roddy.
Yes, sir.
1991's Academy Award winning The Silence of the Lambs.
Ooh.
Musical or no?
I want to say no. So I'll say no.
I'm afraid
Right,
that it was a musical. It was
Yeah.
been performed in London and New York since 2005.
Yep.
And it is notable for giving Clarice Starling a lisp, which I guess is hilarious, but whatever. So wait, who actually won that? Did you all just draw? You all
Three-way tie.
Freeway tie. Oh man.
Hey, Neth.
I should do a tiebreaker, but I can't be bothered.
Neth, did you hear about whether or not there's a Shrek the musical?
I knew this was going to come up. Not only was there a Shrek musical, they retooled it about a half a dozen times. So the filmed version that's on, I think it's still on Netflix, is a chopped together version featuring sequences from multiple versions of it, I think.
Weird.
To answer your question, yes, I was achingly aware that Shrek was a musical.
Good.
Very much looking forward to when we talk about Shrek 2. Now I'm just going to make a thing where I'm just going to name drop it see where I can name drop.
No, I'm just going to cut together all of these fucking episodes and patch together an episode on Shrek 2, so then I don't have to be a part of it. Okay.
We just have sound bites of how much Neth hates Shrek just over and over again.
For the longest time, because of The Simpsons, I thought that A Streetcar Named Desire was a musical. Like, that's just what it was. And then years later, I hadn't seen the movie. Years later, I don't know, at a book sale or something, I picked up like the play script as a book and I read it. And I'm like, it doesn't have any musical breaks.
No, Brian
was like, that's the joke. I was like, oh, I didn't fucking know, because I didn't.
Did you think Planet of the Apes was a musical as well? Because they did a musical version of that on The Simpsons.
That was amazing.
I mean, I guess my biggest question about Mamma Mia, here we go again,
Mamma Mia,
is why does this movie exist?
Money.
Like, who is this for? I don't understand.
Moms and daughters.
I don't know.
Is it really for? Okay, I mean, I'd take that as an answer if that was really the case.
Moms
right?
and their daughters who like ABBA, who want to like see have like, it's like you have brunch and then you have brunch after the movie or before the movie and then you watch it. And also like I feel like there's a big like ABBA's like a gay icon, so I feel like there's an audience there.
I guess. I mean, look, the first Mamma Mia was such a fucking huge hit, certainly in the UK. I think it kind of did okay in North America, but in the UK it was like, for a pretty long period of time, it was the highest grossing film at the UK box office ever.
What?
I think Force Awakens knocked it off like 7 years after it came out. The film was just the first one was just fucking huge, right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, why did they make the fucking sequel?
Yep.
It's not for me, right? So we'll go around the horn, Fo. Like, would you guys recommend this movie?
Yeah, I mean, I would recommend it if you want like one of those feel goods, like Rodey was saying. Mm-hmm. It's good for the mindless nonsense in the back, and it's good for like good tunes. It's the earworms and such. But if you are looking for depth and a good story, maybe not.
Yeah, I mean, they're generally the kind of things I look for in a movie, but sure. Rodey, recommend it?
Yeah, like if you like ABBA and like escapist like movies, then this is it. Like Laura said, there is not much depth, but where there is, it's surprising and it catches you off guard. And I think that is to its benefit. No, I mean, it's just it has good moments. Like I wouldn't say a harsh no on this because there is some value in some of the scenes. Maybe the first one. I would do a double feature. There you go.
Double feature. There you go.
Megan?
I mean, if you really like ABBA, sure, I recommend it. But I mean, if you're drinking while watching it, sure. If you're doing other stuff while watching it, sure. If you're having a party or something and it's on in the background. But I don't know. I wouldn't recommend it as something to sit down and watch like straight through with your full attention, because like if you're not super into ABBA, you're gonna get bored. I just feel like there's better musicals that you could watch and give your full attention to, just in terms of like choreography and visual, interest and yeah, I don't know. I've seen better.
Just to add on, like, yeah, it's true. Like, I would recommend this, but the list of like musicals that are better than this,
yeah,
so far, it's so large.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I've already made my feelings on this one pretty fucking clear, but no, I would not fucking recommend this movie. This is the worst movie we've done as far as I'm concerned.
Really?
This even trumps like fucking American Pie 2 in things that just made me uncomfortable to watch. I had such a bad time watching this film that I really hope I never have to see it again as long as I fucking live. But that's just me, right? And I'm a cynical old person with no heart, so what do I know? that was our episode on Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again.
Mamma Mia!
Dirty by Old Parker from the year 2018. Moving on swiftly, gracefully. Megan, what are we doing next week?
Well, get your camcorders ready and your surveillance equipment, because we're doing Blair Witch 2, Book of Shadows.
Hell yeah, we are opening that Book of Shadows.
Why is it called that? I don't remember.
I don't think they even bother explaining why it's called that.
Hooray! Adventures.
What connection does it have to the first movie? It's weak. But
I mean, the connection it has to the first movie is that everybody in Blair Witch 2 saw Blair Witch 1.
Yeah.
This is one of those fucking exercises in metatextual movies. And oh man, I am dreading going back to this because confession, when this movie came out, I was very vocal about how much I liked it. I feel like I might have been wrong.
I tolerated it when it came out because I really do love the kind of the lore around Blair Witch. But I mean, Book of Shadows feels more like fan fiction.
And also, I noticed when I was queuing this up on Amazon, it's a tight 90 minutes. Praise be for movies that don't outstay their fucking welcome.
Oh, yeah.
Until then, we have been Bad with Numbers from Toronto, Canada. Check us out on Twitter at Bad Numbers Pod. We're on Instagram. You can drop us an email too. It's in the show notes. We'd love to hear your thoughts on the podcast. Any suggestions, comments, criticisms, fire them over. Until next week, take care. Stay safe out there. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Anybody there? Hey, Sweden! Not Swedish, Mac, the Norwegian.